we're going to start this inner child healing meditation by closing our eyes and taking a few deep breaths. I want you for a moment to visualize yourself as a baby. Visualize the sweet, perfect version of you as you came into this world, a perfect, beautiful being. I want you to reach your arms out and hold that baby. Hold that version of you and tell that baby what you want to tell him. You could say, I love you. You could say, you're perfect, you're special, you're meant to be. And look at how cute that version of you was, and how sweet and how innocent. Just hold that baby in your arms. Tell that baby how much you love them and how supported they really are. Now for a moment, I'd like you to visualize yourself as a toddler. Look at that toddler. Are they starting to walk? Are they starting to talk? Look in the eyes of you as a toddler and tell that version of you whatever it is they needed to hear. Look into the eyes of you as a toddler and tell them you love them. Tell them they're supported and they're special and that you're here for anything that they need. And hold their hand. Hold that toddler's hand while you're looking in their big, beautiful eyes and connecting at a soul level with this version of yourself. Tell this toddler how special they are and anything this toddler needed to hear. While you hold their hand, look in their eyes, and offer so much love and so much support. And this is your chance to parent the inner child in you, to give that child anything that they needed, anything they wanted to hear, anything they needed to know. This is an opportunity for you to do that, for you to embrace this child, to love them, to honor them, to support them, to give them anything they need. It's never too late, and this is a beautiful time when we're in this moment, when you're holding the hands of this beautiful child, this perfect being, telling them how much you love them, how much you support them, anything that they needed to hear along the way. This is your time to do that. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Release through your mouth. Take another deep breath in through your nose. Release out through your mouth. Now I'd like you to fast forward a little bit further to you as a 10-year-old. Look at that 10-year-old version of yourself. Look into their eyes. What did you need to hear at 10 years old? What would have made you feel special or felt heard? What did you hope somebody would have said to you or done for you at 10 years old? This is your chance. Reach your hands out and hold the 10-year-old version of yours hand and look in their eyes. Look in their eyes deep into their soul and tell them anything that they needed to hear at that point in their life. You're here to support them, to love them, tell them they're safe, tell them they're valued, tell them they're heard. You're seeing them for who they are, for what they can be, And you're validating this 10-year-old version of you, that they are perfect, whole, and complete, and that you love them unconditionally, and that you're here for them. Hold on to their hands and gaze into their eyes. Ask them, what is it that you needed to know? What is it that I could do for you now? I'm here for you now, and I've always been. Look into their eyes. What would you tell that version of you? What did that version of you at 10 years old need to hear that maybe they didn't? This is your chance. You could wrap your arms around that version of you and embrace them. Embrace that beautiful child that you were and that you are. And you have the opportunity now that you can parent your inner child and give them anything they ever needed or wanted or longed for. You support them. You love them. Hug this child. Tell this child how much you love them, how important they are, how perfect they are, how wanted and loved and important to this world that they really are. This is what they wanted to hear. Whatever it is you think they wanted to hear, this is what you tell them. Now we're going to fast forward to the teenage version of yourself. What did that version of you need to know? 13 to 15 years old? Think back to that time in your life. What did you need to hear? How were you feeling? What thoughts were going through your mind? Look into the eyes of that version of you and connect with them at a soul level. Tell them they are heard. You're here for them. You're here to support them. And you're here to love them unconditionally. Reach your hands out and hold the hands of you as this young teenager. Look into their eyes and tell them anything that they needed to hear at that point in their life. You can do this for them. You're here for them. You support them. You love them. Anything that was going on in their world, anything that they needed help with, you could do that now for them. Wrap your arms around this version of you. Embrace this version of you. Tell them how proud you are of them, how wonderful they are, how everything they did was for a reason, and that you love them and support them unconditionally. Anything they need to hear, anything they need to know, this is the time. This is the time to tell them. You can ask them, what do you need to know? I'm here for you. I love you. I support you. You're perfect. You're perfect how you are. You have always been perfect. Anything you need to know, I'm here to tell you. Wrap your arms around this version of you and embrace them again. Embrace them so tight that there's no doubt in their mind that they're infinitely supported and loved. Now I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Take another deep breath in through your nose. Release through your mouth. On this next deep breath, I want you to hold it at the top. So a deep breath in through your nose. Hold it at the top. big release through your mouth. Now we're going to fast forward a little further into your older teen years. Maybe you had just graduated high school, maybe you're going into college. Whatever version of you is coming forth at this moment, that is the perfect version to visualize. This older teenage version of you on the cusp of being an adult. I want you to see this version of you, really, really see this version of you. What is going through this version of yours mind? What do they need to know? What do they need to hear? What do they need in their life? Maybe their life was wonderful and you feel they didn't need anything. But maybe they did need something. Maybe they needed somebody to tell them that they were special. Or they needed somebody to tell them they loved them unconditionally. Maybe they felt like they never did anything right. Maybe they felt like they were always disappointing somebody or disappointing themselves. Whatever it is, I want you to validate this version of you, this older teenage version of you on the cusp of being an adult, and tell them what they need to hear. This is your chance. This is your chance to open up to them and tell them exactly what it is they need to hear and they need to know. I want you to look into their eyes, and I want you to take their hand, and I want you to tell them how wonderful they are and how loved they are and how supported they are, that you are always there for them, you have always been there for them. And feel how that feels. How does that feel to you now? Being able to support this version of you, this young adult version of you. Maybe you didn't feel supported. Now's the time to step into that role, to be the support that you needed. Tell them you love them so much. Tell them they're heard, they're seen, they're validated, they're special, they matter, they're important, that they did do things right, that they were amazing and they still are. Now I'd like you to fast forward a little further to you into your 20s. What does that version of you need to hear? Look at that version of you in your 20s and look into their eyes and ask them, what is it that you need to know? I am here for you. I've always been here for you, and I love you, and I see you, and I support you. Reach out your hand and grab their hand, and if you want to embrace them, pull them close to you. Give them a hug. Take it all in. Take it all in, every moment of it. Tell this version of you how important they really are. Ask them what they need to know. What do they need to make their life feel important? What do they need to hear? What do they need to see? You can be this version. You could be this parent to this inner child. Tell them how much you love them and how much you care. Tell them how important they are, how unique they are, how special they are, how the world needed them. That's why they're here. That they're meant to be here, and they're perfectly made in the eyes of God. Look in their eyes and tell them anything it is they needed to hear. Validate them. Let them know that you're here for them. If they've ever felt like they didn't have someone, they do now. You're a team. You're working together. You're working together to create happiness and to create a life that you love. And you're going back and you're telling all of your inner children how much they mean to you and how important they are. And that you are able to validate them and to give them whatever it was that they needed. You can do that for them. You could do that for them now. Look into this version of you's eyes and tell them how important they really are. Tell them anything that you think they need to hear. This is the time. This is the time to do that. This is the time to open up and to heal any part of you that ever felt like they weren't heard, they weren't valued. Maybe something happened that upset you in your life. This is the time to go in and tell that version of you, it's okay. It's okay to make mistakes along the way. It's okay to live your life because I love you and I support you. And I know that you are a divine child of God and you were put here for a reason. And I'm here to see you and to validate you and to love you. Now we're going to fast forward to a later version of you. Maybe you've graduated college, if that's what you decided to do, or you have a job, a career. Maybe you've gotten married. Maybe you've decided to start a family. Whatever that version of you looks like, that's the version we're going to look at now. I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. This may be the version of you now. You may be holding a mirror and looking at the version of you now, and that is okay. I want you to look at this version of you and think about what makes me happy. What makes this version of me happy? Think about that for a moment. And let your heart fill with gratitude when you think about what it is that lights this version of you up. Is it career? Is it success? Is it family? Is it health? Is it fun? What is it? Really get to know this version of you and see them. Look into their eyes. Look into their eyes. This is the version of you today. Wherever you are in your life, wherever you are in your age, I'd like you to look at that version of you and tell them how important they are and how much they're meant to be here and how loved they really are, and that it's safe for them to explore what it is they want to do in this world, and that you'll always be here for them and you'll always support them and you'll always love them, and you guys are a team. I want you to close your eyes again and take a deep breath in through your nose, release it through your mouth. I want you to give thanks for going on this journey with me today, and anytime you need to revisit it, please come back to it.